My name is Staff Sergeant Masibay, also known as Archizzle on social media, and welcome to the U.S. Army Basic Combat Training Series. Your future starts here. I have been in the Army for 8 years. I am an Army medic, Army recruiter, and a social media influencer since 2006. I have been documenting my life before I even enlisted into the U.S. Army. I met my wife and my best friend because of the Army. I also have documented the first time I met my daughter and shared it to the world. Because of the Army, I accomplished a lot of things that I never thought I could do. As an Army medic, I learned how to care for my soldiers' well-being, conserve the fighting strength, and meet people that I can truly call family. As an Army recruiter, I have helped people from all walks of life to start a career, to better themselves, and represent less than 1% of our population. As a social media influencer, I have entertained thousands of people. I have shared my life story with my family and used my platform to show that outside of being a soldier, outside of this Army uniform, we are just like everybody else. We live normal lives. See, when I enlisted into the U.S. Army, I utilized the internet for information, but there was nothing about what to expect in the Army. And most importantly, from a future soldier's perspective, there was nothing about what to expect in Army basic combat training. How will I be able to prepare myself? That was the question I was asking myself. Which brings us to this series of videos. I was fortunate enough, with the help of the U.S. Army Recruiting Command, to go back where my Army career started 8 years ago. But this time, it's not just about me. It's about you. You are about to embark on an experience of a lifetime. An experience that can never be replicated. An experience that you can be proud of because you took the challenge to better yourself. Regardless if it's for financial reasons, a career, leadership skills, become independent and stand up for yourself, or just simply because you want to serve your country. The main intent is to provide future soldiers, families, and everyone about the challenges that lies ahead to become a soldier in the U.S. Army. And of course, we're here to share the Army stories of trainees. If you would like to take the first step in becoming a U.S. Army soldier, go to goarmy.com/victory starts here or go to your local Army Recruiting Center. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the U.S. Army Basic Training Series. Your future starts here.
Focus is the key driving force that'll show that you are ready to be trained. Again, do I make myself clear?
This battery is the best battery in the United States Army. Do you understand?
What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Masibay here, also known as Archizzle on social media, and welcome to another episode of U.S. Army Basic Combat Training mini-series. Your future starts here. For today's video, we're going to show you the day-to-day life of what happens in basic combat training for the Army. What is a barracks? What is a barracks room? What does the barracks look like? Where do you sleep? Where do you prepare your gear? Where do trainees eat in Army basic training? What is a dining facility? And if you think about it, this is probably one of those times that you will be away from home, from your family, from your friends, from relatives, so pretty much everyone, and also away from your cell phone and the internet. I understand, it's given, life in basic training can be hard because you're away from everyone. But guess what? There's a special person that we call in the Army battle buddy that will be there for you. You might ask, what is a battle buddy? One of the best things I've experienced in the U.S. Army is having more than just a friend, a coworker, or a classmate. I met people I can call family, or in the U.S. Army, we usually call each other battle, short for battle buddy. It doesn't matter where you're from, what color, race, gender, or whatever it is, because we take care of each other. That's all that matters. As long as you're wearing the same uniform, as long as you're an Army soldier, you are my brother, you are my sister, I will take care of you a whole 100%. What we're showing you right now is the dining facility in Army basic training. This is also what a dining facility looks like in a regular base in the Army. A dining facility can be compared to a cafeteria in your school, in your college, or your place of work. Dining facilities are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even on the weekends. Here they offer a variation of dishes, meals, different types of fruits, snacks, and pretty much everything that you can think of. And because you're in training, the dining facility will make sure that they serve high quality food to fuel you when you go to training. The only thing that you gotta watch out when you're at the dining facility while in basic training is to avoid the ice cream, avoid sweets, avoid the cakes. Because if your drill sergeant catches you eating these things, you're definitely going to pay for it. While in basic training, you may not have that much time to yourselves because in basic training, you are going to be sleeping in a bay. You will see a lot of bunk beds, and obviously you're going to be sleeping and living in these quarters for the next 10 weeks with your battle buddies that are going through training. Everyone wakes up at the same time, everyone showers at the same time, everyone eats at the same time, and everyone sleeps all at the same time. The reasoning behind this is because you are in training. You are a soldier in training, coming from the civilian life into the army. You may or may not have any strict discipline outside in the civilian life, but in the army, you have to learn what military bearing means. You have to learn what army professionalism and how to carry yourself as a soldier. This is the part where you will become a United States Army soldier, so you have to understand the level of discipline in the training, why we conduct this. Another thing that you should learn in Army Basic Combat Training is to value physical fitness. Once again, you are about to become an American soldier. And with that said, you have to be physically fit. You have to be mentally fit. Being a soldier, you will go through a lot of stress. But with a sound mind and a sound body and all proper training, you will be good, you will accomplish the mission. In Army Basic Training, physical training is conducted every morning. What you're looking at right now is a PT test, an Army Physical Fitness Test. It consists of 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. It also varies from day to day. Sometimes you will go through obstacle courses, sometimes you will be conducting combatives, and in the near future, you should expect changes because the Army Physical Fitness Test has slowly been changing, so be on the lookout for that. Now, we're about to share you the story of PFC Andrew Wynn, a U.S. Army Basic Training recruit from California.
I'm Private First Class Andrew Nguyen. I'm Vietnamese and I'm from California, lived my whole life there. I wanted to join the Army mainly for financial reasons like school and help out my family, but also I've had a really deep interest in military and military history. It all started with like video games and all that stuff, and I kind of was the type of person who would like to take time to research what video games and movies got right and what they got wrong about the military. I do appreciate the DFAC food and the sweat from lifting up duffel bags and all that. It's a shared experience. We all went through it, so it's like a source of camaraderie and brotherhood. I know everyone in this bay, and I definitely plan on meeting them later on after all this is done. We actually are planning on taking turns visiting each other's home states. Best thing I learned is just eat a good diet and what kind of workouts to do, and never ever give up. All the sweat, all the pain, even if you have muscle failures, it's just in your head, and you'd be surprised how much you'd get fit. I could barely lift up my duffel bag. I could barely do 10 push-ups like in one go, but now I went from that and I'm doing 50 push-ups and I'm still skinny old me. There's a lot of really nice MOSs that teach you very valuable skills for home, so I really recommend looking at the skill sets you want. Another thing is the Army provides a lot of services like free classes on just how to do things like etiquette, manners, even financial advice, so I recommend use all the resources you get from the Army. My best friend is my bunkmate Navarrete and my bunk neighbors Murphy, Kelly, and Lua, and they're all in that corner over there. And you know, we always have nice conversations, sharing knowledge of our background, our experiences, just cultivating a very enlightened culture.
Private Joshua Navarrete. I'm from Apple Valley, California. Well, I guess being around the same area, you know.
We both love our favorite California exclusive burger joints.
25
Yeah, I'm 25 uniform, so we're going AOT at Fort Gordon, exact same place. If you're a sociable person, if you're like adequately social, then you're gonna make a lot of good friends here. It's like a family. I could go to a really good school right now and have it all paid for with scholarships, but I knew I was frail and weak, and I didn't really want to just have like a personal trainer. I wanted some some mental strength too, some backbone, some morality. So I thought the Army was like the perfect place to have that strong component, to be both strong and smart, because they utilize both aspects. You want to be strong and smart, which is, in my opinion, is the best combination you can ever have in life. The Army's the place for that.
So that's just a little snippet of the life of a trainee in US Army Basic Combat Training. If you like this video, if you want to see more or any comments or ideas that you want to see in the following episodes, let us know in the comment section below. Once again, my name is Staff Sergeant Masibay, Art Chisel on social media. We will see you next week for the next episode. What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Masibay here, also known as Art Chisel on social media. I am your host, and welcome to the US Army Basic Combat Training mini-series, Your Future Starts Here. If you're watching this right now, chances are you are currently a future soldier. Someone who already enlisted into the US Army, either active duty or Army Reserves. You are probably also a high school junior, a high school senior, someone who's in college already pursuing a degree, or someone who already has a degree and about to ship to Army Basic Training. You came into the right place because the main intent of this video series is to show you guys about what to expect in Army Basic Training. And with the help of the US Army Recruiting Command, I was sent back to where it all started for me. My Army career started in Fort Jackson, South Carolina in 2011. There was a lot of memories there, good memories, a lot of challenging experiences, and ultimately, it's something that I will never forget because it's kind of like first day of school for me. My first day in the Army. Throughout the whole 7 days I was there, we were able to interview drill sergeants, trainees, everyone on base, showing you guys important aspects of basic training so you guys are better prepared before you arrive at basic training. Today, we are in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, basic training, and this is reception. So far, I know that nothing has changed. It's pretty much the same. Later that night, it finally got real. The trainees arrived in a bus, all coming from different places, but with one goal, which is to take the challenge to become an American soldier. I would also like to introduce to you Sergeant First Class Coach, one of the company drill sergeants at Fort Jackson.
Sergeant First Class Timothy Kocher. My role in this organization is I'm the company senior drill sergeant. The company senior drill sergeant kind of bridges the gap between the platoon drill sergeants and the company first sergeant. For somebody in the future soldier training program, you just have to keep an open mind. You have to understand that it is basic combat training. It's not supposed to be easy. So when you get here and the drill sergeants introduce themselves, that's your day one of training. That's training, and that's just what we do here. So you have to come in with an open mind. You have to understand that it is basic combat training. It's not designed to be easy. It's meant to be challenging. So as long as you can keep an open mind, and as long as you can start to instill kind of that mental toughness in yourself and understand that eventually it will be over, you'll be perfectly fine.
This part of reception is when trainees go through a shakedown to make sure that they do not have any prohibited items before going to training. Once all trainees conduct admin in processing, male trainees finally proceed in getting their haircuts. This haircut is actually more known as the Fort Jackson fade. They also go through medical screening at reception and finally get their Army uniforms for the very first time.
Pickup day is always a good one. Pickup day is always a good one because you tend to see everybody's true colors on pickup day.
Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Go! Go! We can sleep! Goodbye!
Where are you going? Go that way! Now move it over! Move over! Shoulder to shoulder!
Push it down! Push it down! Push it down! There's the freaking line! Where's the freaking line? Look down!
After the chaos, trainees must be accounted for to make sure that no one is missing. From my personal experience, this is that brief moment when you finally realize it in your mind, in your head, that this is it for the next 9 weeks. There's no more backing out. You have to follow orders from your drill sergeants at all times. Be in the right place at the right time and help a fellow trainee who might need help.
It's the key driving force that'll show that you are ready to be trained again. do I make myself clear?
This battery is the best battery in the United States Army. Do you understand?
From here, the journey begins in transforming from civilian to United States Army soldier.
Never ever give up. All the sweat, all the pain, even if you have muscle failures, it's just in your head, and you'd be surprised how much you get fit.
What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Masiba here, also known as R Chisel on social media, and welcome to another episode of US Army Basic Combat Training mini-series. Your future starts here. For today's episode, we are gonna be talking about the Victory Tower. Victory Tower is one of the many obstacle courses that you will go through as a trainee in Army Basic Combat Training. The purpose of the Victory Tower is to help soldiers develop a sense of confidence and the willingness to overcome fears early on in their Army careers. The thought process is that a soldier needs to be confident in their own abilities before they can truly start to work with other soldiers as a team. For many, overcoming that fear of heights can be a daunting task, but a rewarding one once that feat is actually accomplished. I personally myself went through the Victory Tower 8 years ago. I never had any prior experience with obstacle courses, rappelling, and anything like that. But at the end of the day, what the Victory Tower taught me is confidence and trusting my battle buddies and pretty much everyone in my Army team. What we're about to share you now are two stories from Army trainees that are currently going through basic combat training.
We're going down the Victory Tower. Excited and nervous. I want to make something special for my family and do something special for my country, Sergeant. 13 Juliet, Fire Control Specialist.
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, live in Fort Benning, Georgia. My husband's in the Army, and I wanted to be able to have a meaningful career as well. I left a career in law enforcement to be an Army wife, and I wanted to do something real again. I signed up as a 68 Whiskey combat medic. Before I was law enforcement, I was EMS, and the 68 Whiskey kind of seems like the perfect combination of law enforcement and EMS. So we were doing ropes, rappelling. It wasn't bad. I thought it was really fun. I'd say definitely the height is a little daunting to some people. I would say make sure you just get it in your head. You're here to execute, and just do the right thing, and you're not going to have any problems here. Do the wrong thing, and it's going to be a little bit rough.
So right now it's pretty much discipline, listening, and doing the right thing. You know, holding each other accountable will help a lot. Working as a team, I will tell them to be ready with discipline. And if you're gonna join the Army, you have to take it serious. Pretty much, Sergeant, what I would like to say is if you're gonna join the Army, it's because you're pretty much want to do something with your life. You want to better yourself. You want to contribute to the United States. And if you really want something, you got to go for it. You cannot give up. First week, second week, it's going to be tough. But you got to push yourself to, don't have satisfactions. There's no limits. I don't have limits. I'm not a person that likes to settle. And I like to be, I'm very competitive, so I'm here for that reason.
All right, I want to give a shout out to my husband Carson. I cannot wait to see you in a few weeks. And then my parents, my sisters, and everybody rooting for me.
Hola amor, estoy aquí en el entrenamiento del Army. Nomás te quiero decir que muchas gracias por apoyarme, estar conmigo siempre en mis metas y gracias por apoyarme en mi futuro. Esto lo estoy haciendo para nuestra familia, para que tengamos un mejor tipo de vida económico. Y muchas gracias, te extraño mucho, te amo y espero que veas este video y te ponga una sonrisa.
Hey, what is happening, guys? Art Chisel here, aka Sergeant Massey. Today we are with a bunch of trainees and we're about to go to the gas chamber. You guys are ready? Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
What is happening, guys? So okay, right now we are still on post for basic Army combat training and we are about to go to the gas chamber. So they're getting briefed over there right now on what to do, what to expect, how to use the gas mask and all of that. It should be fun. I'm pretty excited because I'm going in there too and start filming more. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, also it's been a minute for me, so I need a refresher training. The last time I went to the CS gas chamber was back in Fort Hood. So this is something different, but it's mainly to film. So I'm pretty excited. Let's go.
What's your last name? Private? Okay, barely hear you. But you said you watch Art Chisel? For how long now?
About like 3 months before I came here.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. You ready for the gas chamber? Excited?
Nervous.
Okay, you got it. Stay motivated, okay?
The gas chamber in the US Army Basic Combat Training is an enclosed building, similar to a small shed where trainees are taken to evaluate their training with their gas mask. This exercise is meant to give the trainees confidence in their protective equipment and to let them know what tear gas feels like.
Today we went in and we did the gas chamber, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Today we were challenged, but when you accomplish something like that, you know you can do anything, and that was a great representation, I think, for all of us today. I liked trying to challenge myself to be really tough. I tried not to cry, and I tried not to spit all over myself or throw up. Definitely walking out and being done was the highlight of the experience. Things you accomplish in the Army and things you accomplish in basic training, you're gonna have experiences you won't get opportunities to have. It's unlike any other experience I've ever had, and you're challenged and it shows you what you can do and what you're capable of.
Before entering the gas chamber, you will be trained on how to fit your protective mask. The primary goal is to instill confidence that their equipment will protect them during actual use in combat. Learning how to clear a mask is important. Every single one will be trained on how to handle their chemical gear. Some trainees fail to pay attention to these instructions and regret their lack of attention while in the gas chamber.
You'll maintain your military bearing. I don't want you to look like a fool inside there.
Now what you're about to see is what happens from start to finish about what happens in the gas chamber. The instructor will enter first and initiate a slow burning pot in the middle of the room. This contains the crowd suppression gas. Trainees will come in with their mask on and properly sealed. They will then do different things like talking, making different facial movements, and to do some light exercises to increase their heart rate and breathing.
At this time, trainees are going to lift shoulder to shoulder, left to right, back and forth, slowly. At this time, trainees, you're going to lift up and down, to the ceiling and to the floor, back and forth slowly. At this time, trainees, you're going to lay in place, high knees, execute. High knees!
If the trainee has donned the mask properly, it will have stayed sealed the whole time inside the gas chamber. The trainees will be instructed to break their seal by lifting the edge of the mask and then reseal the mask, all while holding their breath. While inside the gas chamber, some people get nervous, some people panic, and they forget all their training. Just remember, this is that moment where you have to trust your equipment, your drill sergeants, and yourself.
Blink your eyes! Clap your arms! Blink your eyes!
Immediately upon exiting the gas chamber, you should open your eyes. This will seem like a hard task under the circumstances, but keeping your eyes open in fresh air will allow any discomfort to dissipate.
Fucking made it!
Turn it out! Go! 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 Go!
Ready? Everybody set. Let's go, guys!
Alright, what is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Massey here, aka R Chisel on the internet. Right now, we are still in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. We're in this obstacle courses to build morale for these trainees. These are soon-to-be soldiers, but they gotta prove it by working together, teamwork. We are a fit to win obstacle course. It's pretty exciting. I went through one iteration already, got good footage, and this is for all you guys who are wondering how it is like to be in basic training. Let's go!
Gonna hear a good crash out of the air. Let's go! Come on! Come on! Let's go, guys! It's gonna help us. Yeah, hold it. Come on! Let's go!
In Army Basic Training, you will go through a lot of obstacle courses. A few of the most challenging and unforgettable events are the team development and fit to win obstacle courses. The purpose of these courses is to promote teamwork and trust towards fellow trainees. These obstacle courses will consist of a series of challenging physical obstacles an individual or team must navigate, usually while being timed. Obstacle courses can include running, climbing, jumping, crawling, and balancing elements with the aim of testing speed, endurance, and agility. Sometimes, a course will also involve a mental test.
How was it?
Hard.
It was hard? Yeah?
Well, we got it in. Yeah, we're a team.
Alright, what do you guys think helped out, to make it more successful?
We did work together, I think.
Yep, I think the teamwork was best. I talked to some people that did it. I've not talked to since I got
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I never heard him
Sounds
talk.
good.
That really helped.
What was the hardest part?
Well, I
wall.
think everything
I think
is
the wall.
hard. It's just, as long as you can get the last person motivated, we'll get it going.
Do you guys feel like you're more pumped up now?
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
Sure, yeah.
Definitely. We're ready for the next one now.
Okay, what's the best lesson that you got out of here?
Teamwork. Teamwork to make the dream
We
work.
can work
That's
together.
it.
Can you actually group together and yell your motto, okay?
right.
1, 2, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3.
Before any event starts, the drill sergeants will be explaining how to navigate and demonstrate each obstacle.
We'll block your face so that we don't accidentally get any cuts or anything on your face from not protecting your face. Yes? Yes, Sir Sergeant. As you make your way through the obstacle, you're basically going to shimmy shake. That's what I call it. You can use your elbows. They will assist you and pull you the remaining way out. At which time they'll tell you go ahead and get up.
Once the trainees are briefed, they will then be separated into different groups and have the chance to come up with a plan to attack the obstacle course.
Heavier people if we had lighter people go first or the shorter people, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to pull each other, like from the barbed wire and whatnot, underneath. So I'd say if we do the taller or the bigger people first, then it'll be a lot easier to pull the short people.
During this moment, some trainees will step up and emerge as leaders. And on the other hand, some will clash and not agree with the
At the
plan.
end of the day, when we finish one obstacle course, we cannot move until the whole team is done, right? So if one fast person, say Alan's real fast. If he starts then somebody that's not as fast can go right after him, and somebody else that's as fast, that's as, equally fast can go. So if we stagger it like that, we're keeping the pace like that.
While going through the obstacle course, some will fail or not be effective in certain events. This is that time when you should be picking up your battle buddies. No soldier should be left behind.
The hardest you're gonna push yourself today, alright?
Yeah, heck yeah, buddy. Let's go.
And then tomorrow you're gonna push yourself even harder. Let's go.
There's a line over there.
Pick him up. Come on. Here you go, Coach. You good?
Come on. Go. Hurt yourself.
Let's go, guys. It's gonna help, Coach. Yeah, hold it.
You must never quit or leave a fallen comrade. In the end, only one group will win, and it's okay, because what really matters is that every trainee understands the value of teamwork, and every single one will be living by the Army values.
Go, keep flying. Let's go. Get down. Hey, come on, way down. Come on, let's
Select a switch from civil to semi and engage your target. Enemy front.
Sit! Tell me what I move! I got you, Jay! That's what I'm saying!
What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Massey here, also known as Art Chisel on social media, and welcome to another episode of U.S. Army Basic Combat Training mini-series, Your Future Starts Here. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about firing weapons while at basic training. Check this out. I myself, when I went through basic training, I never had any background. I never fired a weapon. I do not know anything about weapon systems whatsoever. But to become a U.S. Army soldier, you will learn these basic fundamental techniques on how to fire a weapon. Once you go to basic training, you will either get assigned an M16 or an M4. The drill sergeants will be teaching you basic rifle marksmanship techniques. Also at basic training, you will be using blank rounds, live rounds. You will qualify with your weapon before you graduate, and you will also be put into the test by moving, communicating, using live rounds and movement and all of that with your assigned battle buddy.
I'm First Class Griffin Perry. I'm a senior drill sergeant with Alpha Company 360th, responsible for coordinating and planning training for the week, for each duty week. So right now the trainees are conducting Rifle Marksmanship Period 9, which is Grouping 0 of their M68 CCO. So they progress from iron sights or backup iron sights to M68. We'll go through Grouping 0, 2 days where they do their grouping, 8 out of 10 rounds in a 4-centimeter circle, and then they zero, getting those 10 rounds center mass on the silhouette. They've been firing live rounds for about 2 weeks now. Initially they're really timid because they're not really understanding the capabilities of their weapon or what the weapon can actually do. So they tend to be nervous their first couple times before they fire live rounds. After they get on the range a couple times, they're a lot more comfortable. They understand the capabilities of their weapons, and they understand how to handle them safely. So the biggest transition that I see is confidence in themselves. They come here not sure of what's going on, what's going to happen, not sure how difficult the challenges are going to be. But after pushing themselves through 10 weeks of training here, they start to understand that they're capable of more than maybe they thought they were when they arrived here. So the biggest transition would definitely be the confidence in themselves and their abilities. So the best piece of advice I would give to someone that's considering joining the Army is to prepare themselves, not only mentally but physically. One of the biggest things that people tend to not be prepared for is the physical challenges that are going to be presented to them when they get here. Not just with the APFT, but with road marches and with obstacle courses and things like that. So being physically and mentally prepared is the biggest thing you can do before you come to basic training. I had a grandfather who was in the military. He was a medic during World War II. I had a couple of friends that had joined the military, so me wanting to challenge myself and also wanting to do something better that was not only a stable career, but something that I could take pride in doing.
I wanted to help my mom. She's a single parent of 4 kids, and she had a stroke a couple years ago, so it limited her abilities to work, so she was down for about a good 6 months. So I was kind of footing the bills, and working 2 jobs and going to school full time wasn't kind of helping. So I knew I had to do something different and set a better example for my siblings. It's a different experience. It's something new, and it's a great experience to meet other people from the different sides of the world. Different cultures, different vibes, feelings. It's amazing. Originally, I was going through a different branch. My mom said there's more than one branch to go through, so keep trying. I jokingly asked him, which one do you think is better? Of course, the Army's better. So we kind of started the conversation from there. Just told me to come into the recruiter's office. They kind of broke it down for me to where I would be able to explain it. It just wasn't here, you're just going to sign your life away. Once we were done, our recruiters, they did every Tuesday and Thursday, everyone that was enlisted, everybody that was going to ship out, the future shippers, we all got together and we were doing PT, which is just basic exercising. We did combative training. We ran to prep us for basic training, so when we got here, it wasn't just like a jam shell. We didn't know what to expect. My sister is joining right behind me, and she's a 68 Whiskey, which is a combat medic specialist. And I told her it's a good choice, it's good for her, and it'll help her. But I told her also don't get discouraged. It will get tough at times, but you just gotta push through it, because at the end, it's gonna be a bigger picture. I just want to give a shout out to my mom for sticking by my side in my decision to join the Army. It was the best thing ever. Super supportive, and I just love her for being there for me. Thanks, Mom.
So today we have them going through deferred issue, basically where they're going to receive their ASUs and anything associated with that, so berets, shirts, pants. So this is just the phase 2.
What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Massey here, also known as R Chisel on social media, and welcome to another episode of US Army Basic Combat Training mini-series, Your Future Starts Here. For today's episode, we are going to be talking about Army food. What is an MRE, Military Ready to Eat package? What's inside of it? What do soldiers, trainees eat when they go to the range, go for training, go to the field, and all of that? It's something that I've been asked a lot, and today, since we had a lot of time speaking with trainees, we will cover and interview them during their downtime on their lunchtime. Also, we asked the trainees what is their favorite part of basic training at this point. All of the trainees in this video are in week 7. They're about to graduate. They're really excited, they're really motivated, but there will come to a point where it has to end and they graduate and they move on to the next challenge in their Army careers. So without further ado, let's dig into it.
My name is Private Cope. I'm from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, and I chose to go into the Army to pay for med school. I want to be a pediatric surgeon. I like it a lot. I didn't think that originally coming into it I would like it, but I've made a lot of friends, and this is something that I see myself doing.
I'm from here, South Carolina. I'm from Fairfield. We are in week 7. Today we did fire and movement, where we did a battle buddy live fire team, where we went through the obstacles with our battle buddies. So we use live rounds tomorrow.
We wake up at 5 to 6. We do our workouts, we stretch, we have chow. From chow, whatever our day's planned out, whatever they have for us to go to, we take a bus or we ruck there, and from there we do the event for 2 to 3 hours, and from that we eat lunch like we are right now, and from that it just depends.
I received a letter from my sister, and I'm really close with her, and it was just really nice to hear back from her and for her to say that she's proud of me and that she looks up to her big sister.
My favorite part so far has been throwing the hand grenades, which we did yesterday. The feeling of it was just a good feeling, very exhilarating. A lot of anxiety going around. Some people are scared. It's funny.
So in mine, I have raisins. Well, my favorite is when we get the bread with the peanut butter and jelly. It's my favorite. And then I also have beef stew. As a dessert, I got a lemon poppy seed pound cake.
So my favorite MRE is this one right here. It's the cheese tortellini, and it comes with trail mix, vanilla pudding, crackers and peanut butter chocolate, and the cheese tortellini, which is not that good, but I like the desserts.
I'm eating Skittles and a granola bar. Not Skittles, M&M's. Yeah, it comes. We have our regular meal. We have our candies. We got our drinks. We got raspberry drinks. Buffalo sauce. I like buffalo sauce a lot. Recovery Chex Mix. Workout. Set yourself up 2 months before you're gonna leave. So you wanna get in shape before you make that decision or you get that date. And talk over with your family and see if it's what you really want.
I would say if it was easy, everyone would do it. And this is not something that everyone can do, and you should really, really try your best. And I would just say do it, honestly. Like, it was the best decision I ever made. Try something new.
Just never give up. When you feel like you're falling, just get back up and keep pushing. If it hurts, just keep pushing. There's always going to be something. You're always going to find a battle buddy that's going to help you get through it. So just look for a good battle buddy that you don't stay with your time here.
Hi, I'm Private Cope. I'm from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, and I just wanted to give a shout out to my mom and dad and my sister.
This is Private Blaze. I'm in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I want to say hi to my mother, my little sister Daisy, my father, my grandma and grandpa, and all my friends back home.
What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Massey here, also known as R Chisel on social media, and welcome to another episode of US Army Basic Combat Training mini-series, Your Future Starts Here. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about the US Army uniforms. It doesn't matter if it's the OCPs, the dress blues, but for me, what really matters the most is the beret. This is that moment where it completes your look as a soldier. But if you're a trainee halfway about to graduate, you can see it right there. The finish line is right there. Without further ado, we're gonna share you a few more stories as usual from trainees and a drill sergeant on what it means to them to wear the US Army uniform.
So today we have them going through deferred issue, basically where they're going to receive their ASUs and anything associated with that, so berets, shirts, pants. Once they get their dress uniforms, they start to see everything that they're receiving at that point, and they're just looking forward more to graduation because that's the uniform that they're going to wear whenever they walk across that field. So they still have to learn how to shape and wear the beret. We actually take them up and give them a class. We watch them very carefully because they actually shave their berets, and so if we just let them go loose, they're going to put holes in them and cut the wrong parts and all that stuff. So we still shape their berets with them, and we make sure that they're fitting properly and looking good. The best advice I could give for somebody that's looking to join the Army, you're not going to know exactly what you're getting into, but just go in with an open mind. Make sure that don't keep quitting on the back burner like that's an option, because in your mind it shouldn't be an option. Whenever you join the Army, you're going to be basically doing the best thing you could ever do to jumpstart your life. I mean, whenever you're looking at everyone that's your age right now, and then you're going to see a noticeable difference once you graduate of everything that you've accomplished, things that you thought you would never do. You're putting yourself ahead of your own age group. And I think that the country needs something like that right now, because a lot of people don't understand what it means to serve.
So today we got fitted for our skirts, we got fitted for our shirts, our berets, our pants. My pants were a little bit long, they had to fix it. We got a size for our right size shoes. I have 7.5. And we got our big coats, and that's about it. We got size for our graduation uniform. It made me feel very like to keep on going, to not give up, because you're one step ahead. And it made me feel like you're this close to graduating, so just keep up. I joined because my family right now, they're struggling financially, and I found that the Army could help me with my college, especially since I wanted to do criminal justice. Drill sergeants, my battle buddies, my family a lot. My family back home missing me, writing letters telling me to keep on going, and they're waiting for me back home. That what motivates me a lot. It feels amazing because I remember getting that letter from my mom, and I just saw her handwriting and felt like she was writing, she was speaking to me. It feels great to receive letters every time. Hola, soy Private Nicole Paiva Rodríguez y quiero mandar saludos a mi mamá que me está viendo y te extraño y cuídense todos. Gracias.
So my favorite MRE is this one right here. It's the cheese tortellini, and it comes with trail mix, vanilla pudding, crackers and peanut butter chocolate, and the cheese tortellini, which is not that good, but I like the desserts.
This is the part of Army basic training that everyone has been waiting for. Family Day and graduation. Family Day is the first time you can finally see your beloved soldiers. They completed all requirements to pass Army basic training, and this event is usually emotional. Everyone is feeling excited, looking at every single soldier information to find their son, daughter, spouse, your relative, friend, who is now finally an American soldier. On this day, soldiers are allowed to spend the day with family on post. Graduation, on the other hand, is another day to see your soldier be part of a long-time Army tradition. This is an important day in his or her life, and it signifies an accomplishment, so make sure to take pictures and videos. At the end of the day, make it a point to be there for these events to show your love and support to your soldier.
I was told originally that I wasn't going to be able to come to the graduation, so I was really disappointed. But you know, when you deploy, you have to do what you have to do. So I actually wrote him a letter, wrote my son a letter, and I just told him how proud I was of him, and that I knew that I wasn't going to be able to come to his graduation, but he knew I was going to be there in heart and spirit.
We were walking up, and when I got like halfway through the field, I had seen my dad first, and I was like, all right, there's my dad. And then I see my aunt, and then I kept walking. I was like, oh, okay, my mom didn't make it. And as the program went on, I just kept looking at my dad. And then when they said, come get your soldiers, I had seen my mom come around the corner, and she was in her uniform, so I really didn't realize who she was inside the stands. So when she came and I saw her, I tried not to cry also. I wasn't trying to break my bearing. You know, I didn't want everybody to look at me and be like, oh, Rob's just crying. So I went and I hugged her, and that was it. It was like enjoyment, like my body just filled with happiness. I wanted to run out the formation and run towards her, but then they told us we had to stay in, so I flinched, and I was like, oh. And then I just realized she was walking towards me, and I felt like a kid on Christmas. I was just bouncing and ready to embrace her. And when I finally got to hold her, it was because before this I hadn't seen her since Thanksgiving, from when I was in college. So getting to see her now just made this one big perfect graduation.
Well, there you guys have it. This is the last episode of Army Basic Combat Training mini-series. Your future starts here. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to say thank you to every single one of you guys that followed, subscribed, shared every single episode in this series. Also, big shout out to everyone that was behind the scenes to help me produce these videos for this series. Our main intent, and hopefully this whole series was beneficial to you guys who has family members that are about to ship to basic training, future soldiers, someone who's in training right now, or someone who's actually serving right now, reserve, active duty. Hopefully this helped you out. Once again, my name is Staff Sergeant Masibay, Art Chisel online on social media. Thank you guys for watching. Art Chisel out. What is happening, guys? Staff Sergeant Masibay here, also known as Art Chisel on social media, and welcome to another episode of US Army Basic Combat Training mini-series, Your Future Starts Here. For today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Forge. What is the Forge? What is the importance of the Forge in basic combat training? For those of you guys who do not know, the Forge is a brand new event that's being implemented right now all across the Army in all basic training sites. The Forge basically is a culminating event for Week 7 trainees about all the stuff that they learned the whole time they're in basic training. This will involve combatives, ruck marching from one point to another, firing weapons, pugil sticks, obstacle courses, land navigation, and many more. To summarize it, the Forge is basically that final requirement to see if a trainee will pass Army basic combat training and finally become a soldier.
25 Bravo to IT specialist. It's weird, I've been a mechanic my whole life and everyone thought I was going to go that route. But recently I got into computers and stuff and just wanted to find my own way in life. Everyone in my family's been a mechanic, so I just kind of wanted to take my own path. Behind me, we're actually getting ready for the Forge, which is the biggest event here. We start off with the Hammer, which is just about 5 or 6 mile ruck, and then we went on to the Anvil, which is about an 8. And this one's anywhere from 10 to 12 miles, and it's the biggest ruck. And all of our other rucks we've been doing throughout the day. This one's doing all our events at night, so we're actually preparing to leave at midnight tonight for that march. Long story short, me and my wife both actually joined. She leaves a week after I get back from basic, and we found out last year that we couldn't have kids, and we knew we weren't going to make our family any bigger, so we figured there's a bigger purpose of life than just working a 9 to 5, and now coming here I've realized I've made a huge family with all the guys I've met here. I tell myself it's the mental part's the hardest part of it, and it gets better. It honestly gets better, and you're going to meet people from all over the world, so get ready for it. I want to give a shout out to my wife mainly because she is my #1 fan, and she's leaving a week after me, so get ready because it's a roller coaster, and my mom and dad for being super supportive, and also my brother and sister because they're rooting for me, so thank all of y'all.
Private First Class, Ashley Mathis. I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi, but I now reside in Jackson, Mississippi. I have a 4-year-old, and I know that I needed to do whatever I needed to do to make sure that 4-year-old had the best life that he could have, and I knew the Army would provide a great avenue to do so. My MOS is a 91 Bravo, all-wheel vehicle mechanic. The hardest part for me has been the gas chamber. I don't like not having control and to not be able to breathe. Breathing is pretty important and kind of scared me a little bit. But once I got out, I realized I was just freaking out in my head. It wasn't that bad. Victory Tower has been my favorite moment. Coming off that wall, that was the best part. Well, you're 40 feet in the air. Either you're gonna get it or you ain't. But I got it, thankfully. Graduation. When we got here, fastest way out of here is graduation. And one of the drill sergeants told us that the process isn't fast, but quitting won't speed it up. And to know that graduation is right around the corner, just keep going, just keep pushing, you'll make it. Basic training has been hard, it has been challenging, it has been interesting. I've learned a lot about myself in basic training. Basic training will teach you things about yourself that you never thought you ever learned. It has even been fun. You meet new people, you do new challenging things. It has been exhilarating. The longest journeys start with the first step. You've already taken the first step, so every day that you keep going, you're one step closer to being finished. Just keep going and get it out of your head. Join, do it. It is the worst, best thing that you could ever do for yourself. It's gonna be hard, and some days you're not gonna wanna do it, but when you go to bed at night in the bay, and you lay there and you think about all the things that you've accomplished that day, it's the greatest feeling ever. You go to sleep proud as a peacock.
The final event of the Forge is a rite of passage ceremony where trainees put on their berets for the first time in basic training. This symbolizes that they are now soldiers.